What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Dummy Wormy. I'm coming at you with another video. And within the Genshin Impact scene right now, there has been a pathetic boycott going on in response to the latest edition of Nautilin characters. Nautilin being an area that takes a lot of inspiration from African, Latin, Mesoamerican, some native cultures for the clothing, the environment, things of that nature. And because all the characters weren't black, a bunch of people ended up freaking out and saying that they wanted the game to basically get punished for it. You ended up having even voice actors come out trying to say that they're whitewashing characters, they're being racist, so on and so forth. Well, this boycott ultimately led to nothing, considering that HoYoverse has basically been very successful over the past couple of months, making more money, increasing their revenue by 10%. It's been a heck of a time over there. This boycott basically isn't affecting them at all. And the boycotters just keep crying more and more in response to this. The fact that Genshin Impact, HoYoverse, and all these other games that HoYoverse ends up putting out succeeding so much makes these freaks go insane. And to make it even worse, these freaks, as I'm going to keep calling them, are now reveling in the fact that the CEO of HoYoverse had their car broken into over in California on a business trip. Yeah, so they're proud of that. We'll come over here real quick to this quick post over on Facebook, and you see it right here. Here, I'll even zoom in for us real quick. MiHoYo founder Dway's car window smashed in Bay Area. A fan encountered Dway, who arrived in Sunnyvale, and discovered that the window of Dway's rental car had been smashed. Dway was likely on a business trip to visit their development office in California, or visiting MiHoYo's parents in Silicon Valley. It's close to Apple and Nvidia. Update: it seems Dway did not lose anything, but the laptop of someone with him was stolen. Now that's a sad story. Welcome to California, by the way, but that's still a sad story. It sucks getting your vehicles broken into, having things stolen. That's not a good time. I'm glad nobody got hurt. I'm glad nothing really valuable was lost. Laptops are easy to replace. Hopefully there's not a whole lot of very important data or information on there. Also probably shouldn't leave valuables like that in your vehicle, especially in big cities right now. But following this news, we scroll down here, we can start seeing a bunch of these people just reveling in what happened. And you start seeing it right here. Can the robbers make the characters get melanin? Crying, don't tell me somebody actually blackmailed him into giving Nautilin characters more melanin. Dead. Oh yeah. Damn, poor car. Oh, that's a decent one. I don't condone it, but like, owned. Change the skin tone, LMAO. And it keeps going on. As long as it's not something that harms him and those around him directly, I approve it. We should make them know we are serious about the dark skin and boycott. I like the response this one got. You approve thievery? Do you think it's worth it just for pixels? That's what this is all about. Pixels. In a made-up world, in a work of fiction, in a world, like I just said, that doesn't exist. They took inspiration from real world areas to craft their own world. And all these characters are supposed to look Asian because it's made for an Asian audience. So everybody looks Asian. They don't need to look like the real world. It's all fantasy. Nothing in here actually exists. But because these people are so brain rotten and are racial identitarians that firmly believe that race is all that matters, they freak out at the sole idea of all these characters being Asian. It's insane. It's insane. It's not pixels. If it takes influence from IRL cultures and whitewashes them, it's very harmful. What about Assassin's Creed Shadows? What about Hades 2? What about The Little Mermaid, which is a Danish folklore that Disney recently took and race changed the main character and basically half-assed it by making her black but still giving her red hair? What about Snow White? And I'm bringing these up because this is how these people think. They don't care if it's something that pushes their ideology. If it doesn't push their ideology or have diversity, they freak out. And a good example of this, okay, because a lot of their ideology is, well, their race isn't important or something like that if the person's already changed. So then what about Snow White? And I did bring this up to a few of them recently. Snow White, the new Snow White starring Rachel Zegler, who's a Latina. The new Snow White will be a Latina. And I brought it up to them. Why is it okay here, but not here? Why is it a problem that HoYoverse isn't changing characters and you view this as like being racist and stuff, but why is it not racist when it's Snow White? And the answer I got was, in Snow White's case and in the Little Mermaid's case, even though the logic doesn't make sense, race wasn't important to their identity. So you could say that technically for the Little Mermaid, even though it's a Danish folklore, she should be Danish, so she should be white. That argument doesn't work when it comes to Snow White. See, this is where you can tell that these people are hypocrites, because she's called Snow White for a very specific reason. Her skin is as white as snow. Her skin color is important within that storyline. That's the whole purpose of her name. That's the whole purpose of everything to do with her. She's fair. She's this very specific way. But because she's Latina, they say it's okay. Now, if she was just white, they'd be freaking out because they're racist. They're identitarians. That's all that matters to them. They don't care that the Nautilin characters are Asian. Let's be perfectly honest here. They're Asian. It's a Chinese game made for an Asian audience. Every character is designed to be Asian. They solely view it through a racist lens. So every character must be white, but none of the characters are black, so that means it's bad. It's awful because they're narcissists. They're awful people. That's what it is. They want to come out here and say it's cultural appropriation. That goes back into the other arguments that I brought up. Hades 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, The Little Mermaid, and Snow White. When it comes to Hades 2, that's Grecian mythology that they are race changing, sex changing, gender changing, doing all the changes for a more progressive audience. That's okay. When it comes to Assassin's Creed, is a game set in feudal Japan. It's partially a problem that Yasuke is the main character, but besides that, Ubisoft's just shoving a bunch of Asian stuff in there and saying it's all Japan when it's coming out that, well, no, there's Chinese writing, Chinese dialogue, there's Korean architecture, Chinese architecture, foliage that shouldn't be in this time span, things like that, weaponry, armors, all that stuff. But again, Assassin's Creed Shadows is okay, because as a black man, it has some LGBTQ representation in it. Again, pushes their progressive agenda. When it comes over to The Little Mermaid, well, it's diverse cast, so it doesn't matter. But if it's cultural appropriation, it should matter because they are appropriating Danish folklore, a Danish story. It should be accurate to the time that it takes place. No, it has their stuff in it, so it's fine. Same for Snow White. I've already mentioned it. Skin as white as snow. Well, she's Latina, she's diverse, it has a diverse cast, and it pushes our agenda, so they're okay with it. They're hypocrites. That's the long and short of it. And what you're seeing is how disgusting they are. Right here, deserved racist F. Deserved pedo ass. I don't even know where that comes from. They're broken people. They're fractured people. And in a game that's not targeted towards them, that they really don't have much stake in, that they're really not having much of an impact on in general, they can't handle the fact that one thing isn't being targeted for them and isn't bending the knee to them. So now they have to revel in the CEO's bad luck. This shows you how sick in the head they are and how broken these people are, and how I'm so happy HoYoverse just ignores them and treats them the way that they deserve to be treated. Nothing more than the garbage on the streets. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out, friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video live, and I'll see you guys all on the next one. Bye for now.